So today we're going to tackle something that can be, well, pretty darn intimidating, trying to navigate the court system all by yourself. And if that's you right now, listen, you are definitely not alone. This is all about clarifying the path forward.
Yeah, just thinking about representing yourself in court, it can be a lot. So much stress, so much uncertainty. I mean, the legal world has its own language, right? Its own super complex rules and procedures.
And let's be real, walking into a courthouse for the first time, it can feel like you're lost in a maze. But I want you to think of this as your map. And hey, let's be super clear about something. This is not legal advice. We are not talking about strategy or how to win your case. Nope, we're focusing only on the procedures, the step-by-step administrative stuff you have to do to get through the system correctly. All right, so let's start by figuring out the layout of this maze. You see, the courthouse divides up all the jobs very clearly. Different people have different roles, and knowing who does what, that is the first, absolutely crucial step to avoiding a whole lot of confusion and frustration. Okay, first things first, let's get a key term out of the way. You're going to hear the phrase pro se a lot. It's Latin, and all it means is that you're a litigant, a party in a lawsuit who's representing themselves without a lawyer. So if that's you, you are a pro se litigant, and this guide is 100% for you. Okay, let's move on. Section 2. It is time to meet the people you're actually going to be talking to inside the courthouse. You can think of them as your navigators, but just remember, and this is key, each one has a very specific, very limited role. Your whole adventure inside the courthouse, it pretty much always starts right here at the reception desk. This is your information hub, your starting point for just getting your bearings and figuring out, okay, where do I go next? And what's so important to see here is the really clear line between what they can do and what they can't. They are fantastic for pointing you to the right courtroom or telling you where to find certain forms. But, and this is a big but, they absolutely cannot take your paperwork for filing or answer any legal questions. Their job is orientation. That's it. All right, so once you've got your directions, your next critical stop is going to be the clerk's office. This place is basically the administrative heart of the entire court. It's where all the official paperwork gets processed, filed, and kept. So here's the thing you absolutely have to understand about the clerk. Their job is purely mechanical. They can take your documents and timestamp them, they can get you copies, and they can tell you if a form is physically complete, like, yep, there's a signature on that line. But they are legally forbidden from telling you what to file or what to write in that filing or if your legal argument is any good. That would be legal advice, and they can't give it. And the last person we'll meet on this little tour is the judicial assistant, or the JA, as you'll often hear. The JA works directly for the judge, and their entire world revolves around one thing and one thing only: the judge's calendar. And this slide really shows you just how specific their job is. A JA can tell you how to schedule a hearing and give you the available dates, but you must never, ever discuss the facts of your case with them. Think of them as a totally neutral gatekeeper to the calendar. They are not a sounding board for your case. Okay, so we've met the key players. Now let's switch gears a bit. Section 3 is all about your procedural toolkit, the practical how-to step for getting things done the right way at the courthouse. Listen, before you even step foot in that building, being prepared is everything. Always have your case number ready. Think of it like your account number for your case. Bring copies of every single document, have a valid ID, bring your personal calendar for scheduling, and be ready for filing fees. A lot of times they only take cash or a money order, so be prepared for that. So let's walk through the actual process of filing a document. Notice how mechanical this is. You get your copies ready, you make sure everything is signed, you double-check for any required attachments, and then you hand it to the clerk. Your goal? To walk out of there with that super important file-stamped copy for your own records. That is your proof that you filed it. Now, about scheduling a hearing, it's not always done the same way. As you can see here, courts usually use one of three main models. In Model A, the court just gives you a date. Simple as that. In Model B, it's on you to contact the JA to get it scheduled. And in some courts, Model C lets you pick a date from an open calendar. The trick is to find out which model your specific judge uses. And that brings us to what might be the most important part of this whole thing: the rules of engagement. Seriously, how you ask your questions will make all the difference between getting a helpful answer and getting a polite, "I'm sorry, I can't help you with that." Okay, look really closely at this comparison. Safe questions are all about the process. Where do I file this? How many copies do I need? Unsafe questions ask for an opinion or a strategy. Should I file this? Do you think the judge will grant this? Court staff can only, and I mean only, answer those safe procedural questions. Oh man, it's a moment that can cause some real panic. You go up to the counter, you hand over your document, and the clerk just hands it right back. They tell you it can't be filed. So what do you do now? First things first, take a breath. A rejection from the clerk is almost always for a simple procedural mistake. As you can see here, it's usually stuff like a missing signature, the wrong case number, or you forgot to include an attachment. These are usually easy-to-fix administrative errors. So if your filing does get rejected, just take a deep breath and ask this exact question word for word. Can you tell me the procedural requirement that is missing? This question is your key. It's a safe procedural question that lets the clerk point to the rule you missed, like, oh, this form needs a notary stamp, without giving you illegal advice about the content of your document.
Okay, we've covered who to talk to, how to do things, and what to ask. Now we're at our final section, and honestly, it contains the most important rule of all.
So why does all this little procedural stuff matter so much? Because the stakes are incredibly high. Simple administrative mistakes can have a real and really damaging impact on your case. And it's not just about annoying paperwork. Filing the wrong thing or missing a deadline can cause huge delays. It could even stop your motion from ever getting in front of the judge. And in the worst case scenario, a failure to follow the court's rules and procedures can get your entire case thrown out, dismissed. That's why getting this stuff right is just so critical. And this is where the difference becomes crystal clear. We've spent this whole time talking about what court staff can't do for you, but just look at what an attorney can do. They draft the legal arguments, they make sure every single rule is followed, they protect your rights, and they argue for you in court. They handle all the strategy that court staff are completely forbidden from even touching. So we're going to leave you with this final thought. Knowing the courthouse map is a huge first step, and I really hope this has made you feel like a much better navigator. But navigating the building is one thing. Navigating the law itself, that's a whole different ballgame. The real question is, are you prepared to do that alone?